semifinals, Wildcard Gaming versus Method Black here on Game 1.
All right, let's see what they can do here. Windwalker, Destruction Warlock versus Mage Ellie. I think Method Black, this is the matchup that they were kind of hoping to get, and they got it. So let's see if it's going to work out as well as they hoped. This is is the infamous trampoline cleave? No, that's with an Ellie Shaman, right? Not quite the trampoline cleave, but they're going to decide to go for Morrow here.
Okay, let's see if they can get some pressure off of that. The Windwalker definitely going to have a much easier time than a Warrior staying on target. And the Destruction of Warlock is also great into an Ellie and a Mage. Looney stunned up, but Morrow temp shields all of the damage initially here in game number 1 of the best of 7 grand finals. Morrow popping that combustion. Song of Chi-Ji by Looney over onto Chaz. A leg sweep to follow it up. Swapsy getting absolutely destroyed. Vitality Conduit comes in just the nick of time for him to restabilize as he begins to try and Chaos Bolt Morrow, counterspelled by Morrow and shut down. Hex on Waz, that will be annoying for him. Unfortunately for Seepai, it breaks early. They go for Dragon's Breath Polymorph, dispelled instantly by Chaz. Looney and Chaz are just standing right on top of each other. Looney wants to bully Chaz with that Song of Chi-Ji, and right now it seems difficult for Chaz to get away from him.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We talked about it before, that the mages sometimes struggle to get crowd control on the Mistweavers because they're so mobile, but you've got Looney as well, sitting there with all 3 DRs. He's got the Paralyze, he's got the Stun, and he's got the Song of Chi-Chi, as you called out, Sid. So definitely a lot of crowd control available to them here. And Swapsy has just been under pressure this entire game so far, really struggling under the onslaught of this Mage Elemental coming from Wildcard Gaming. I think when I think of teams that can run the Mage Elemental, definitely Wildcard Gaming is the one I would put as very, very scary to play against. They're looking very, very good here in the first game of the Grand Final.
Ooh, leg sweep onto Chaz, into the Song of Chi-Ji. Let's see what they can do here. Big damage onto Swapsy. They cancel out the Lightning Lasso with that leg sweep. Waz doing nice disruption right there, making sure that everybody on his team is safe. That was a close call, though. They did get the life cocoon here. And honestly, it just looks more and more like Wildcard Gaming. Every time they play this, they just dominate.
I think the Lightning Lasso is a very important component. They've enabled Zeepai access to that spell by shutting down multiple members with crowd control. This could be a comp that allows them to run through this grand finals. It has the potential for a 4-0 if Method Black don't find an answer. The first comp that they're bringing in contention of it is going to be the Windwalker Warlock. I'm curious to see if it ends up working out for them. So far, they're not in a bad spot, but I could see Waz being dragged out into the open and set up on, similarly to the way that his Warrior was. But right now, Swapsy is refusing to leave the pillar, just going after whoever gets on top of him. Morrow blinks in. Zeepai is trying to reposition. Polymorph on Waz. Looney paralyzed. Is Chaz going to be the target, maybe? No, he gets polymorphed. Lightning Lasso gets leg swept by Waz. Good denial of that important spell. Basically, the pivot point for Wildcard Gaming is the Lightning Lasso. If they can disrupt it and prevent it, then Wildcard Gaming will have a hard time. And big swap to Looney, locked down for quite some time. If they had a Mortal Coil available on that setup, I'm not sure Looney would have survived.
Yeah, I think the Mortal Coil was used in the setup to it, because looking at the cooldown, it was used just before that. I didn't quite see when it was used, but certainly that was a big push from Method Black, and I think that's what we need to see from them. Waz on this Windwalker, we know how fast he can be at finding those win conditions. I think that's one of the things that makes Waz such a good DPS player for the squad. He needs to be really taking that proactive stance of finding the swaps either onto Morrow or onto Looney and setting it up like that. It was a very, very good opportunity. They almost won the game off of it. A good sign of promise from Method Black, who otherwise have definitely looked on the back foot in this game. So they're going to have to keep looking for that. They do have the Touch of Death, so certainly opportunities around, though the Infernal Stun is a big contributor to that, and it will be down for a little while, Zico.
Yeah, Morrow looking for some crowd control. The Chaz so far doing a great job avoiding it. Waz actually running into the Ring of Frost to DR himself as that Collie goes off. And Chaz getting kind of a double value dispel right there. And now here we go. Big setup onto Looney. Touch of Death comes out. There's the leg sweep. Let's see what they can get done here. Lightning Lasso coming out. Fist of Fury. They have a restun here. That Touch of Death is going to go off. But Looney does use his Fortifying Brew right there. And he is going to stabilize from that without using his life cocoon, which is very important because if he has the life cocoon himself, then all of a sudden his mage could be a target, his Ellie Shaman could be a target. Right now, Method Black doing a pretty good job just swapping around. Not sure how I feel about the Wizards playing on the same pillar as Method Black. Looney going for a Song of Chi here. He might be able to land it. Maro going for a Polymorph. Looney canceling the song. And they're both just spamming out crowd control here. They both get it. Swapsy could be in trouble. No Lightning Lasso found just yet. And there it is. Nice Life Cocoon is going to come out of Chaz. Greater Pyroblast is coming out of Maro. And he should be fine for now. He's actually casting 3 Greater Pyroblast, forcing Waz to leap over to him and interrupt him. Now it's Method Black's turn to go aggressive.
See, there's 2 threats. You got Greater Pyroblast and you got Lightning Lasso. And they're Zeepai and Maro are never really going to be standing next to each other, so it's difficult to stop both of them at the same time. Combustion, Lightning Lasso, big combo on Swapsy. Vitality Conduit. This is the first time I've seen Vitality Conduit just not instantly top the target, but they stacked up on that push and they're being punished. Beautiful punish there with that Drestigath, but only finding a Life Cocoon, ultimately that huge amount of damage doesn't net too much of an advantage. Chaz isn't a full polymorph. Swapsy's running for his life. He fears Maro away, dispelled instantly by Looney. Chaz is finally out of crowd control. They're trying to snipe a Ring of Frost. He does manage to get out of that route just in time to avoid the Ring of Frost. Waz anticipating himself being the target pre-Fort Bruise, but doesn't look like they're going to commit to him just yet. They need to stay on Maro and stop these Greater Pyros. Looney in a good spot where he could drink if he wants to. I would imagine that's what he's thinking about doing. He gets Ring of Peace, he's not going to be able to. And Chaz Gates right on top of him to go for crowd control. They're making a push on Maro. He temp shields during that crowd control, but that temp shield has now subsided. They really need to get cauterized with that push, but not enough crowd control, and now it is actually Swapsy who could be in trouble. He Mortal Coils as soon as Chaz gets paralyzed, catches a little bit of a heal, but Lightning Lasso could be sitting in the wings here. Is Zeepai going to be able to nail the kill? Chi-Ji on Chaz out. Stormkeeper casted. They leg sweep Zeepai. Will he go for a Greater Pyro in the sky? I think that's on Waz. Maybe, yeah, on Waz. Big connect there, but Chaz isn't crowd control. He should pick them up, and right now Wildcard Gaming have control of the field.
Yeah, it's been a very lively start to this first game of the Grand Finals. Best of 7, it's against Method Black, Wildcard Gaming. It seems like this is oftentimes the Grand Finals in Europe. Wasn't last week, of course, and very nearly wasn't this week as well. Closely fought series all around, but Method Black have made it here, and they are looking threatening. Once again, maybe looking for a setup here over on to Looney. It looked like Waz was rolling towards him, but instead he's just going to throw his damage at Maro. They force out the touch of Karma, which is going to be reversing some of that damage over onto Maro. As a consequence, we see Looney actually use both the Fort Brew and the Life Cocoon here. So he empowers his Life Cocoon, but at the cost of his own personal defensives. I think this is the sort of thing where I would really like, Swapsy has this Infernal Stun coming up. They're just going to commit the Touch of Death onto Maro instead there. I was going to say maybe another setup onto Looney, but instead it's huge damage onto the Mage. There's no Life Cocoon. Can they catch up from this big onslaught from Method Black?
Oh, Looney used his Everyman for himself, Zen Focus T, channeling out a couple of hits. He could be susceptible to interrupts now if they can't force Waz and Swapsy away from the team, and they are able to do so. Zeepai with the Lightning Lasso, able to channel it out fully. Chaz now in a Ring of Frost. Do they have anything more? No more CC for Chaz. Should be able to recover his team. Life Cocoon comes out onto Waz. Looney now getting counterspell. This is big trouble on tomorrow. If Swapsy can get any damage out, but he's so low himself, has to duck for cover, and Chaz is gonna able to recover him, but Maru at the same time is also going to recover there. If Swapsy could have stayed out in the open, that would have been Maru's cauterized or at least ice block, but now Waz,
Greater Pyro.
Greater Pyro comes out. Let's see if Maru can land the polymorph. He's going for it, not going to be able to find it. Swapsy with beautiful denial, but he does get a Greater Pyro onto Swapsy. A lot of damage here still on the side of Wildcard Gaming so far in this match. Both teams, though, are going to have most of their defense available.
Waz leads into midfield. They want to keep up pressure and prevent Looney from drinking as dampening continues to rise. Big casts here by Maro. Do they have a way to stop it? Chaz paralyzes him. Swapsy fears him. Zeepai is starting to take a beating from Waz with that Drestigath trinket. Looney powers through. Another Ring of Peace on Maro. Really dedicating that as a resource to stop Greater Pyro. Spell locking him now and switching over so that Waz can assist, but Zeepai could be left open with that Lightning Lasso. There's threats from Swapsy right now with his Dark Soul available. Grounding a Chaos Bolt. Going for a Lightning Lasso and running around the corner. And I'm wondering if they brought the Fell Hunter out of range of Zeepai there, so it couldn't spell lock the potential Lightning Lasso. Although it wasn't available, I think getting the Fell Hunter out of range of Lightning Lasso or even paralyzing it is a viable option to guarantee that they connect the full lasso. Waz is going to start developing a lot of pressure on Morrow here. Windwalker on a mage is still a big threat, but he sneaks a Greater Pyro on Swapsy. Swapsy lobs the Chaos Bolt back at him. He temp shields it, but it's still quite high in dampening. Even still quite high in dampening. He's back to full health pretty quickly. Swapsy now getting life cocooned in that exchange. Looney's rolling up. He's looking for crowd control. Chaz is running away. Will Chaz be able to evade him? Paralyzed, triple crowd control. Big threat for Swapsy here. 32% dampening on any resolve trades out for him, but that's his most vital cooldown. It won't trade evenly in the future, but now having made that trade, they counter-aggress. They're chasing down Morrow, pushing for the Cauterize. Looney's still stunned up, 2 seconds away from his life cocoon. He's going to Fort Brew to buff up the healing from it if he needs to. Now he's actually just deciding to hold on to it, topping Morrow off. Chaz into the polymorph. Swapsy once again under threat and under fire. Is he just going to fall to the Stormkeeper of Zeepai? In the meantime, Swapsy sneaks a fear onto Looney. Morrow could be in trouble. Huge hit by Waz. Temp Shield trades. Will it allow him to recover? It buys time at least. Life Cocoon stabilizes. Swapsy still on the back foot. Lightning Lasso. Is there a way to disrupt it? Doesn't look like it. Looney's sneaking in a Song of Chi-Ji. Chaz immediately ports away, but he left Swapsy behind. Has to life cocoon him as soon as he comes back into line of sight. I would say the momentum is in favor of Wildcard Gaming if they can keep up this pace.
Yeah, 40% dampening. It feels like this has certainly gone faster than some of the other games just because of how explosive it's been. You do get the feeling Swapsy could have fallen or Mara at any point in this game. But now I think we're at the crutch moment potentially for Method Black. They could be in big trouble here. They don't have the life cocoon for a few more seconds. They don't have access to the unending resolve or the human racial for Chaz either. So big cooldowns are down for Method Black right now at 40% healing reduction. They just need to start getting the pressure going. Go for one of those big lasso combos that we've been talking about. If they can cross control the pet and channel that fully, I could easily see a kill coming through here. This is big damage on both sides. You see Chaz dropping very low. DR Lightning Lasso comes through, but he transcends away, able to keep himself in the fight. Meanwhile, Looney, he's having to deal with a lot more consistent pressure from Waz, who of course does have that healing reduction attached to his melee abilities, and that consistent pressure is starting to pay its toll on the resources of Wildcard.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to see a push here on tomorrow. Taking a huge beating right now. Do they have any more CC4? Looney doesn't look like it. No life cocoon available though. Still good damage here on the side of Method Black. Morrow trying to reverse the situation here. Gets a nice polymorph. Double leg sweep coming out here from Looney. Swapsy taking a huge hit right there. Not sure how Chaz broke out there. I think maybe he used his every man for himself on that leg sweep the last couple of seconds. Swapsy regardless going to hold on for a little bit. No life cocoon available. Waz now taking big damage using his tank trinket right there. Might be his touch of karma as well as Chaz as well, rotting down. I think the ignite of Morrow right now is just doing tons of damage. Beautiful counterspell onto Swapsy is going to be enough here for Wildcard Gaming to draw first blood in this grand final.
Swapsy is taken down, putting Wildcard Gaming 1-0 up against Method Black at 50% dampening Zico. What happened there in those final moments? How were they able to get that kill on Swapsy?
Morrow was under a lot of pressure there, but the fact that he just went and tried to reverse the pressure, landing that poly on Chaz, kind of reversed that situation where he was the one dying. Now instead it's Swapsy on the back foot, and a lot of it just comes down to the fact that during these setups, Zeepai is doing so much damage with those lassos and earth shocks.
It's great to see Wildcard Gaming play so aggressively. But my question for you is, Healing Stat, is this something that they can continue on for the rest of this series?
Wildcard? I think so. Yeah, I mean, Wildcard looks pretty good on this. I trust. Look, it's the question I asked Zico earlier. You know, it's like, oh, Warrior Mage. I'm not sure about that pick. If Wildcard picked it though, yeah, definitely. These guys are just insane, right? Like when they're playing their bread and butter, when they play some of their ulti comps, sometimes they don't look as good. Although that said, you know, they brought out Turbo and looks insane on it. I even know. I don't know how to criticize these guys. Sometimes they just. Method Black are the only ones that seem to hold a candle to them, and they've got to find something into this Mage Ellie because it's looking pretty gruesome right now.
Yeah,
I think they should go trampoline cleave.
Bring in the
Swapsy
Ellie.
is a phenomenal
I would
Ellie.
like it, yeah.
Windwalker Ellie versus Mage Ellie.
Windwalker Ellie used to be a classic back in the day. There was a point where that
Space
comp was
Station played it
insane.
yesterday.
They did as well.
beat
That's
C9
true.
with it.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll lock in Blade's Edge?
Imagine if they do. Imagine if they lock in Blade's Edge trampoline. That would be insane.
There's only ways down. Swapsy rather. Maybe he hasn't been playing that much Elemental because there's been a couple of times today where we've said, you know, maybe it makes sense. Like even into Diablos, everyone's been running Ellie's into Mage Lock, and it would make perfect sense that they would bring in their own elemental, right, in one of those games, and they just never favored it, which is interesting to me. Maybe he just hasn't been practicing it that much, didn't expect everyone else to pop off on elemental this weekend.
I don't think many people did expect Ellie to be such a dominating class this tournament, and it's definitely great to see. But my question
Some
also...
people did.
What?
Some people did.
Okay,
people
so
were asking for it.
all right, okay, you're right, Zico and Ben predicting the Ellie class. Do you feel better now?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Too bad Elliot's not here for your moment there, Zico. But so let's say that Windwalker Lock is played again by Method Black Supatees. What's something that they could maybe, if Wildcard Gaming plays the same comp again, what's something they could maybe do differently that time if they want to secure a victory, if they decide to lock in that same comp?
I mean, I don't really think that they messed up, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they got out-dampened.
So it's just a problem with the comp, you think?
I'm trying to think if maybe on a small map. It seemed like they just could never leave the pillar, so even on a small map, I'm not sure it's going to work for them. They're really running the clock here. They still haven't played the same comp that they did win. They beat Mage Ellie as Windwalker DK with Spite. Like, that's just a fact. They did beat it,
Yeah,
and it looked pretty good. So,
I feel like the reason they won that is because the team was running very close to 40 corruption, because we saw Thing from Beyond. Like, if they lock the same in again, the team's just going to drop one Verse Amp or one Haste Amp and play 17 or something corruption, right? And it's going to be much less effective.
Well, Method Black has locked in Tiger's Peak. Wildcard Gaming locking in Mage Ellie once again. Zico, does this maybe give us any more insight into what Method Black could do here? What are their options if they're choosing Tiger's Peak?
They're going either Windwalker DK or they're going Warrior Mage. That's what I think. What I would have liked to see, of course, it's going to be Windwalker Ellie, I think. Because Method Black used to play it.
They did.
And This might be a little unpopular opinion, but I haven't been the biggest fan of Swapsy on the Warlock. I'm going to be honest. However, Swapsy on the Shaman, I think it's only him and Zipa there. Like, him, Zipa, and Jamie they're like the top three, you know? And on any given day, either of them could be better than the other. So I feel like Swapsy is going to be the most comfortable. I'm almost certain. Actually, I am certain. I've even played with Swapsy on his Ellie. So he has been playing it. I think you should play it. I would love to see that matchup.
I mean,
I feel
it
like
really
small
is the...
maps would be good for it too.
Yeah. Do you think that if they decide to go Windwalker Ellie, how is that going to work on Tiger's Peak?
I don't think they should lock it in here. I think that if they lock it in here, I don't think it's going to look that good. But I think if they lock in, Mage Warrior or Windwalker DK here, and that doesn't work, then I think, what else are you going to do? At this point, you've tried most of your matchups. So I feel like lock in small and go Windwalker Ellie.
Yeah, I'm not even sure Method Black knows what they want to do. And it's really, it seems like they haven't landed on anything just yet that is really a reliable comp choice for them. They only have 10 seconds left to choose their comp, so we'll find out shortly enough what they think maybe they can counter this Mage Ellie comp again. Why is this comp working so well in favor of Wildcard Gaming Supatees? What is it about the Ellie that we're seeing so powerful?
I mean, Lightning Lasso going through Conflict and Strife. I think Ellie actually falls off pretty hard next week when Lightning Lasso is going to be affected by Conflict.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
I'm
excited. Swapsy is playing Enhance.
Yeah, I'll take it. It's close enough.
To Mage Ellie, though?
Yeah, I think that's fine. Is
How do we
it
feel
Turpin?
about the healer?
Wait,
Chaz?
what, Paladin?
Oh, I see. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the class.
What do you think about Chaz?
No,
Let's do time
Chaz
right now.
on the Mistweaver, not Chaz as a healer. No, okay, that's a good question. Yeah, let's hear your thoughts, guys. Chaz just locked in Mistweaver.
I feel like Chaz on the Mistweaver could get untapped. Chub.
Okay, why do you say that?
Well, we saw when Method Black, what were they playing against? They were playing against Boom Shakalaka, and they were going after Chaz pretty much the entire game.
Wait, what?
Boom Shakalaka?
No.
Spoon came up with that. Anyway, they were going after Chaz. Like, they were trying to hodge him into Lightning Lasso, so they could do something similar, because I don't feel like there's that many ranged interrupts. It's only the stuff that Swapsy has, really.
Do you think that with this map choice of Tiger's Peak, Method Black chose Tiger's Peak, that they were intending to play this comp from the beginning, or is this a response to Wildcard Gaming's locked comp?
They're fishing.
I felt...
What? Yeah, I feel the same. I don't think they have a clear-cut answer to this, to be honest. I mean, it seems like Elemental is beating all the wizard comps, and then Mage Ellie traditionally would be really good into any sort of melee comps. So I don't know if there's anything like this is the sort of time where I wouldn't have actually been that surprised if they tried Rogue Mage, but they got beat down in first game of the upper finals when they played Rogue Mage. It was kind of off the cuff though, like it was no cloak, no vanish, no sack, you know, like I wouldn't blame them for trying again. The game wasn't even going that badly, but seems like they just don't want to go that direction. Maybe Turbo, I mean Turbo does a ton of damage, right, so you can never count it out.
Well, we will soon find out how Method Black will be doing on this enhanced Shaman Warrior comp. Wildcard Gaming already up a game. We'll see if Method Black is able to tie it up here on Tiger's Peak.
I'm excited to see the enhancement Shaman Warrior. This composition's kind of been resurrected from the dead, trying to make it work here into an Ellie Mage. I'm not sold on it. Zico's pointing out that Chaz could be susceptible, so what I would like to see is if they target Morrow, which I expect is going to be the target, he can pull Waz and Swapsy far away, double Dragon's Breath, Ring of Frost both of them, and jump on Chaz. Paralyze Leg Sweep Chaz and then go after him. That's what I want to see if Chaz isn't running Conflict, which I feel like he's not going to. And I think they can win with that strategy.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see if they can pull it through. It is going to be time for the gates to open. Game 2 of the grand final, Method Black versus Wildcard Gaming. And I mean, when you look at it, Method Black, they've had a tough road to get here. They've played incredibly well to take down the newly formed Daedalus, who looked so good this week. But now they're up against the final boss, Wildcard Gaming. Beat them in upper, have had a cruise through to the grand finals this time around. They're defending champions from Cup 2, and they have brought out yet another composition with this Mage Elemental this week. They have been devastating the competition, running high versatility and also doing high levels of burst when they do manage to set it up. Method Black do have something up their sleeve though. They've got a bunch of compositions coming through here. Swapsy in the early stages taking a lot of damage. Not really able to get too much pressure out onto Maro, but I think Maro's going to have a tough game here. Turbo Cleave, notorious for what it can do to Shamans, but at the same time just a ton of damage! Doesn't use the human ratio. Maybe he'd already traded it out, but that was explosive.
They didn't even do it. They literally, I swear that was like the most sloppy setup ever, and it still just KO'd him. Like
boom shakalaka, yo, here comes the cheeseburger.
Okay, well, Chaz goes down in almost under a minute there. Zico, walk us through what happened. That was so quick. How did they secure that kill so quickly?
Well. This is what happened. Zipai and Morrow, they got a decent amount of pressure. Chaz was debating, maybe I should fortify Brew Cocoon. So he fortified Brews. Then Zipai just walks up to him, loads up the good old Stormclepter, starts zapping, and then Morrow blinks in, gets a little combustion, little meteor, lightning lasso, leg sweep, and Chaz didn't use his human ratio, thought that, he's going to be able to greed it on those last couple of seconds, but boom shakalaka.
What? I'm trying to rewatch it right now. I want to see what CC Swapsy's in, because one of the things I was thinking that's really nice about Shaman is the way grounding works now, right? Like it doesn't just get taken by one spell. So if you get a grounding off on that swap behind the pillar, the swap is over. So I'm actually rewatching it right now. Oh, he got caught up in a polymorph, so just no one used trinkets, I guess.
They did what I said. It wasn't a ring, it was a poly. They did what I said. I'm just pointing that out again. That's another point to me. Okay.
Wait, how did you get a point?
I didn't hear you
before the game started.
You didn't hear me at the beginning of the game? I said they're gonna double DB, double ring, and go after Chaz. They did try to
then
do
we
that.
both get
Why
it.
I said that setup was sloppy was because when Morrow tried to ring, Zipai just lava burst and broke Dragon's Breath. That's why I said it was sloppy. Like, Morrow was setting up the double ring, and then Zipai just broke it. And I was like, why did he break that? And then 2 seconds later, Morrow's like, fine, I'll still get the polymorph the shaman, and then killed Chaz. It's the same strat. It wasn't a ring, but it's a poly. It's the
Okay,
same
fine. We
strat.
both get it. We both get a point.
You guys can both get points. Are we happy? Are we good with that?
I want the record to show as well that I did hear you said. I was just trolling you for your muting record this weekend.
My what
Okay,
record?
I feel like Healingstad deserves a point for
Wait,
that.
what
Okay,
is
I'll
my
give you
what
points.
record? My what record?
Muting.
Oh.
Oh, I heard meeting record.
Yeah, I heard meeting too. I was like, wait, what?
All right, well, Method Black's finding themselves on blocking in a map once again. Do you think, guys, that this is something they're going to try and repeat? Obviously, that last game wasn't quite the way they were planning it. Are they going to try that comp again, do you think, Healingstad?
Well, they're running out of games. Like, best of seven's normally like, oh yeah, there's plenty of time, especially with these two. Like, they'll go at it for like 15 minutes a match right now. But Method Black are just throwing the towel in a little bit here. They gotta shape up. I feel like you can't base the entire game on that. It was so many cooldowns coming in from Wildcard Gaming, and you have human ratio, you have swapsy trinket ground. There's so many things you can do there. Just greeded it a little bit, so I think they have to try again.
Yeah, I'd like to see them do that as well. They have locked in Hook Point. That was Method Black's map pick. Now Wildcard Gaming is going to pick their comp, so we'll see shortly what that is. Zico, what do you think? Do you think Method Black's going to try that comp again? I mean, like Healingstad was saying, they're running out of games here. This is a best of 7 series, but they're running out of chances.
Yeah, I feel like they're running out of war games right now. I think it's time to take a step out on the trampoline. That's what I feel. Hook Point is a fantastic map, and I think what they need is big burst damage to take down Morrow. I think Ellie, Windwalker are gonna be excellent at that. Whereas when you play Windwalker Destro, there was still a couple of close calls on Morrow, but it's a little bit harder to set up because the Warlock needs to get a Chaos Bolt off, or extend at least the lockdown with the Immortal Coil and things like that. It feels like with an Ellie, I mean, just look at Zipa. He's having the most fun ever right now. He's just zapping everyone.
I think I would be having that much fun too if I was 2-0 against a team like Method Black, but I would certainly like to see them try that Ellie as well. It'd be great to see Swapsy on that Ellie. Why do you think that they decided? I don't think we talked about it too much. Why do we think they decided to pick that actual comp? Like, we haven't seen Enhanced this cup at least. What is it about that class specifically, that spec, that has utility for them that they thought would be useful?
They're desperate.
Okay.
I'm trying to think, like, on paper why. It's like,
I mean, Enhanced is good. Grounding Totem is very powerful against these one shots. That's
Enhanced was
certainly
good.
true.
I think you would see it more than just like it's like a jungle counter. I don't know.
I don't think it's just a jungle counter there. Like Turbo Cleave, when you meet it on ladder, does really good damage. If they can have good uptime on Mara or Zipai, they can definitely they'll win mana, right? There's no doubt about that. If they survive these setups, they will probably do more damage, and like if they can just keep surviving, they will burn Looney out of mana faster. I think that's the win condition for Method Black.
So on the... Okay.
Oh,
Ooh,
they did trampoline,
we got
but
it.
not on the trampoline.
Oh! Another point. The points are just raining in today. What is going on, Sid?
Why didn't they
Do
pick
you lose
Blaze
the
then,
point if
though?
they lose there?
What? Trampoline Cleave. It's the first time they play it.
I'm
Yeah, why
excited.
didn't
for
they
this.
pick-
Well,
Cleave
Ben
then?
would have given me a point, but it's fine. So
We'll give you half
the reason
a
why.
point.
Half a point?
Is that
Okay, you
okay?
know
Is
what?
that
I'll take
doable?
it.
I feel like this is
I'll
an
take
easy
it.
full point. I gotta say, like trampoline.
It's-
that was called a while ago.
Okay,
That's
okay.
fine. So the reason why I'm super excited about this, and the reason why I wanted to see this comp, is just because I feel like right now Wildcard Gaming has so much burst, and they're so good at setting it up and coordinating it, and actually closing out games early on. I think what Method Black has been lacking is finishing power during their setups, and now if Wildcard Gaming plays super aggressive and their setup doesn't result in a kill, Method Black has a comp that can just immediately punish that and force out big cooldowns like Cauterize and Ice Block from Morrow early on. And also, if Looney uses his human racial to save Morrow, this is a comp that can just 1D Looney as well.
What's their opener going to look like then on Method Black here? For Method Black against Wildcard Gaming.
Probably start on Mage. and stop Greater Pyros. If Looney compromises his positioning, paralyze him, ring a piece Z-Pi away, ring a piece Maro away, and then go after Looney. That's what we saw.
Trampolining?
Yeah, the trampoline's down and then go after Looney.
All right, well, we'll find out shortly what exactly their plan is here with Method Black. Wildcard Gaming up 2-0 versus Method Black. Really needs to get a win here if they want to try and catch up with Wildcard.
Yep, they definitely need to start winning some games here. It's best of 7, but they're 2 down, 2 more, and Wildcard Gaming will be our back-to-back champions here in Europe. Cup 3, they're looking great. They're currently top on the standings, number 1 seed in Europe, looking likely to continue that way going through to the circuit, barring some bounces in favor of Method Black. They bring in the Elemental Windwalker Mistweaver. I actually like this map a little bit for the monks as well. There's so many awkward places on the map that are perfectly wide enough that a ring of peace will block you out. So if they get someone in the starter room, or if they get someone behind those the barricades on the side, you can get some really good value. So we'll have to see how Method Black chooses to play it. I think ultimately the big win here with an Elemental Shaman is look at how Swapsy plays. He's going to be on the pillar the entire game, looking for those opportune moments to land the lightning lassos and just avoiding the setups that have been so deadly from Wildcard Gaming.
Both of these Ellie Shamans could be, exposed targets in this matchup right now. It looks like Waz going for Z-Pi. Swapsy as well has been targeted. Waz now taking a big hit here. Anybody can die in this matchup. Everybody is playing a squishy target. The healers can die. The Ellie Shamans can die. It's all about coordinating your damage and landing the setups. And right now, Maro could be in trouble here. Lightning Lasso coming out from Swapsy with the Sky Fury Totem. Beautiful Life Cocoon by Looney. Just going to respect that. Not allow Method Black to get that pressure. But they do have that Life Cocoon now out of the way, so they don't have their own though. Waz could be in a little trouble there. Nice shutdown by Swapsy, killing off that grounding toad. Actually, just interrupted that wind shear there. Beautiful stuff. Swapsy behind the pillar now, caught up in a double leg sweep. Could be in trouble, but I don't think they have the damage there to follow it up. Once again, Waz just all over Maro, setting it up.
Oh.
And whoa, my goodness, what is that damage? There's the car rise. This is what we're talking about. Maro's Temporal Shield is going to get him to full HP, but immediately Method Black with a big lead here.
Yeah, that's a great start for Method Black. This is the most potential we've really seen them have into the Fire Mage Elemental. Not to say that Wildcard Gaming can't attack back. Here, look, Waz taking a huge hit, but no crowd control on Chaz, no kill. Waz Fist of Fury flying over onto Z-Pi. He wants to go after Maro, but Maro's in a tough spot to go after him at the moment. They're going to ring a piece, Looney and Maro away, but Greater Pyros are getting off. Multiple. Maro blinks in. Chaz is in crowd control. Waz has to trade the Karma. Are they going to try and crack through it is the question. They Song of Chi-Ji Chaz. Maro and a Lightning Lasso stalling. Chaz gets out of crowd control. Waz will easily take no damage through the rest of that setup. He's swapping back over to Maro, looking to force that ice block. Looney rolls away from the fight. He knows he's a paralyzed target in the immediate future. He needs to max range. They leg sweep Maro, but it's on diminishing return. Not the biggest fan. Maybe they're just trying to stop a cast a bit more than anything else. But we're waiting for Chaz. He's going to be the initiator on the next crowd control. His paralyzed, his leg sweep. He's rolling over to the left, getting a little bit closer to Looney. Lightning Lasso on the Waz. Chaz needs to power through that before going for crowd control. Chaz still waiting to pick his moment. They could crack Maro's ice block if they set this up perfectly, so they're patiently waiting. They burst Maro down to half. Looney's in a tough spot for Chaz to get to at the moment, but eventually he's going to have to make that move. Swapsy and Chaz posted up at the pillar. They're going after Z-Pi. They're trying to push him away from their pillar at the moment. Ring of Peace over onto the Greater Pyro. Chaz is etching into the middle. He paralyzes Maro. I'm really surprised that they're not going for a paralyzed leg sweep on Looney at this point and trying to push for the win. Lightning Lasso on Waz, but no crowd control on Chaz. Shouldn't be enough to net a kill. Now Lightning Lasso into Z-Pi. Both teams are playing this very cautiously.
Yeah, I don't dislike it completely. I feel like they again, because they have the Windwalker, the overall damage coming through from Method Black should be higher. The Fire Mage, his big threat is Greater Pyroblast, but this is a small map. You can see Swapsy's positioning. I don't think there's ever going to be a Greater Pyroblast landing on Swapsy. If there is, it's based off of a mistake. The only person that can really die is Waz. And he's also, he's got a small map. He can transcend behind the pillar. He's got 2 amazing cooldowns to play into spellcasters. So it's actually just a really durable composition from Method Black. And I think they don't need to do anything super aggressive to win this game. They've just got to, again, survive the swaps from Wildcard Gaming with this Mage and Elemental.
Big push here onto Chas, not gonna be resulting in any real pressure. So what I was thinking is, when are these teams gonna start going for the healers? And Wildcard Gaming does land the first punch there, but unfortunately for them, Waz was able to break that up. Chas now in a full polymorph. Looney taking massive damage over there. Swapsy though getting counterspelled. The re-polymorph comes out. If they had a lightning lasso here, this would have been huge major defensives here coming out of Method Black, but instead they're just going to break up the pressure that was found there on Looney. And I really like this. Go for Chas. Try to get a big hit here, maybe force him to life cocoon himself, and if you can do it without DRing him on poly, then you can just poly him and go for Waz, you can go for Swapsy. It really opens up the game, but Maru now in big trouble. Temporal Shield gets purged off. Swapsy going for the lightning lasso. Maru with defensive Dragon's Breath. Chas powering through with heals. Looney doing the same here, and both teams are recovered right now.
Chaz Transcendence is away from Looney, avoiding any potential crowd control. Both teams evening out here as dampening begins. Chaz with a slight mana advantage that's expected with the Mortal Wounds effect and the consistent damage of the Windwalker. Swapsy gets caught in a lightning lasso. Big damage to follow it up. Double stun, and that's just it. Big mistake. Just even one mistake, you're going to be punished. Wildcard Gaming advanced to match point with this composition. Mage Elemental.
Wildcard Gaming now only one win away from winning Cup number 3 for Europe, and it really goes to show how there's really no room for mistakes in this level of play. How were they able to find that opportunity, Zico, to shut Method Black down?
It's just when everybody is a target, this is what the game looks like. It becomes very chaotic. It becomes very, swapping around and just forcing opportunities. And you're able to connect that big burst there and close it out. That's the scary thing about these Ellie Shaman comps. And this is why, me and my domestic partner, Venruki, shout out to him, we've been asking for these Ellie Shamans because this is what they do.
And do you think then, Healing Stat, this is something we did just see them, Method Black, lose on the Ellie Shaman. Do you think, though, that they could try and play this again? It's match point. Would it be risky, though, to play Ellie Shaman again?
I mean, I think anything, like, they haven't got a solid answer to this. And what it comes down to is, again, here, it's a mistake, right? At the end of the day, they die before cooldowns. And that's exactly what we want to see, right? Like, in a very slow-paced meta, most people in Europe, they just think, like, how do I win that, like, 80% dampening scenario, or how do I get slight advantages there? But it's actually a perfect opportunity for these kind of one-shot classes to come in as well, because you've got 10 plus minutes where the Elemental Shaman can set up that perfect Sky Fury, Lasso, Earth Shock, whatever it is, and that's really hard to play against. It's a constant threat basically every minute or so for 12 minutes. I think definitely Method Black had that in their favor too. Like, Mario almost got one shot a couple times, so I feel like they have to go with it. It's just, there's no easy answer.
Yeah, and once again, this is Method Black's map choice. They're down 3-0. Definitely not a place you want to be in, Supatees. What kind of mindset? It is Method Black. I feel like this team they have a lot. They've always have kind of a good attitude in these situations. So what do you think is even going through their head right now?
I mean, they're gonna probably try a small map in the same comp again. I feel like Blade's Edge would have been better for them. Mm-hmm. That's the map that Space Station Gaming just dominated with that comp in particular, because Ring of Peace is really annoying. It doesn't have a diminishing return with itself, so you just use that to knock off the Ellie, knock off the Mage, go straight down the middle to Looney like we saw Space Station Gaming do to Cubsy. I think that's a good option for them to get a point on the board, but then we're going to go to large maps. And when they go to large maps, I feel like right now mirroring might be their only option.
I don't think they're going to win a mirror. I'm going to be honest. I have no confidence that they win that mirror. Not because Method Black are necessarily bad. It's just, this is something that Wildcard has obviously been preparing. Yeah. And I don't think Method Black has played, very many games with Mage Ellie. Definitely not to the point where it looks as scary as when Wildcard is playing it.
Yeah, for sure. We just saw Method Black lock in Dollar and Sewers. Does that give us any more idea of what we think they're looking to do here, Healing Set?
I'm honestly not sure at this point. I think they could go a number of directions. Maybe they try the DK Windwalker again. Maybe they try Turbo again. All their games have been, so close, and then they've just kind of lost in opportune times. Certainly the last two. So I think they can go any of those directions. A Turbo I wouldn't be upset if they locked it again. It's just like one thing I was gonna say for Wildcard Gaming. It seems like every week they've got a new pocket pick, and they're just so good at these classes, and they clearly prepare certain comps, and they have the synergy and everything. And then they're off-meta picks too, so the other teams have to kind of take a step back and be like, whoa, how do we play against this again? And, then the cup's over, right? And since it's cup back to back to back, you actually got to give some credit to them, just because I feel like a big part of the reason they're winning is because every week they have something new that makes sense, it's good in the meta, but no one else is playing, and then they just win with it,
Yeah, definitely seeing a lot of innovation here from both sides. One maybe working better than the other. Wildcard Gaming absolutely dominating with this Fire Mage Ellie composition. Though my question is, Stupides, how do you think that this comp specifically with Wildcard Gaming would go against other teams if we maybe saw another team here in the grand finals?
I mean, the thing is, they don't have to play this comp,
Right.
if they don't want to. I mean, their Warrior Mage looks good most of the time, but this one's now even looking better. It seems like it has the potential. I mean, I still think one of the major reasons is because Conflict and Strife doesn't work on Lightning Lasso. If it worked on Lightning Lasso, I don't think you'd see Ellie. Because right now they're winning pretty much every time in Lightning Lasso. If they were taking an extra, I don't even know what it is exactly, maybe like 20 to 40% less damage in Lightning Lasso, I don't think they would die. Because rogues, when they kidney shot somebody, they are getting the double verse value. So Zeepai gets kidney shot, he's not really taking any damage. But if he Lightning Lassos a rogue, the rogue is taking full value damage. So I think that is a major contributor. I actually think Ellie might fall off hard on Tuesday because it relies on versatility. And the way it's winning right now with Lightning Lasso, it's going to have conflict applied to it. It might not be as powerful as it's looking right now.
Yeah, well, Method Black locking in Frost DK Windwalker. Healing Sad, what do you think about this comp? Do you think this could maybe be the answer to Fire Mage Ellie?
Well, I mean, it's the only one they haven't tried, really. They did win with it in the first series. They got their one win against Wildcard Gaming. I think probably for Wildcard, they'd have to play around Spite. Spite's only stacking to 1 this week. That will be a change as well. So that's going to be a big meta shift as well, because we know how impactful Spites have been in some of the other cups. That will be back for Cup 4. I think for Wildcard, they take off one piece of Verse, so they'll lose like 3 to 4% versatility off of that. But other than that, I think it's a sound pick. Like, whenever you pick a Frost DK into a mage of any description, there's some good stuff happening for you, right? Well, you're going to say Arcane. It's like, I still think even Arcane, like, you're going to be annoyed by a Frost DK. So I think it makes sense for Method Black. Certainly against the Fire Mage, if that makes Zico happy to play this comp.
That's all I was asking for. And Frost Mage, obviously.
Well, what?
I was just going to say, what a time to be alive where Wildcard Gaming is the fastest team.
They know this territory.
The
they know
kings
this meta.
of dampening, man.
Oh, man,
They are
this
the
is a
kings
good
of
point.
one-shot today.
We've seen some very long games from Wildcard Gaming in past cups, and now they're shutting Method Black down sometimes in a matter of minutes. So very impressive on the side of Wildcard Gaming, of course. Game is starting soon here, but my last question, Zico, on the topic of Fire Mage, how do we think, if this is a difficult comp for a Fire Mage to face, what is he going to be looking to do to sort of mitigate the damage coming from the Windwalker DK?
Well, they're going to have to go for kills on Chaz, I think, on the side of Wildcard Gaming. And you want to have Maro kind of drag down the melees and try to walk them on the bottom side of the map. So you can expect Maro to play around the stairs, to play around the side on the stairs that Chaz isn't in line of sight of, and just run a circle at the bottom side. And eventually, we'll see Maro maybe Dragon's Breath and Sheep one of the DPS. Blink in, spam out instants with Meteor and stuff in a Lightning Lasso and try to set up kills like that. We also saw when this matchup was played, Swapsy survived on like 1% HP when they CC'd Chaz. So I think they're going to be going, they're going to mostly be going, like their real kills are going to be happening on Chaz, I think. But aside from that, I think Waz could be a good target. If Waz isn't in line of sight, they can also hit Swapsy, try to take him down.
Here we go, match point. Wildcard Gaming might clean sweep the finals with Mage, Elemental, Mistweaver. Method Black have been thrown for a loop. They're trying to set up some spites here on Morrow as he's locked down in that blinding sleet. Curious to see if Looney has changed his talents. He has. So he's got Tiger's Lust this time around. And Zeepai is happy to attack Chaz. I think they've also realized if they're going to leave Zeepai open, he can go for these lightning lassos on Chaz uninterrupted pretty much. And now that they've got Tiger's Lust 2 from Looney, I'm not sure the spites are going to work as effectively as they did for the one game that Method Black was able to win in this entire tournament. But that damage could be, I mean, they just got cauterized on the back of a double dress on Morrow. Looney live cocoons, but a little bit too late. I don't even think he was anticipating that much damage from that double dressed.
I just did a little bit of math, and people in chat will certainly correct me if I'm wrong, and they can use the inspect tool to do so. I believe he's running 95 corruption, and then with the 60 resistance, that would be 35 net corruption. So that means any spite on him is going to put him over the 40 threshold for those Thing from Beyonds. Could be scary, certainly for Wildcard Gaming, and we do see in that first swap, as you said, the corduroys forced out, big cooldown already, and this is the sort of thing for Method Black, right? They are these setups. They've got the Ring of Pieces, they've got the Blinding Sleet coming in from Swapsy, they've even got the Death Grip. The Death Grip, I think it's the eye there as well, so super clean coming through from Swapsy, getting maximum value. Let's see how much damage comes through. Another spite as well, big damage.
Feelings that you're having some audio issues, bro. I'm gonna have to cut you off, man.
Right.
We're gonna go in here, and Morrow activating his combust right now. Big push here for Wildcard Gaming. They force out the anti-magic zone right there. Chaz should be able to recover everybody, but you can see Looney and Zeepai just stacking on top of Chaz, making it very difficult here for Chaz. So here you can see Zeepai is looking for a wind shear right now. As soon as Chaz is going to cast, you can see Zeepai is going to try to wind shear it, but Chaz positions out of his line of sight, so not going to be able to find that. And there it is, full wind shear into potential lightning lasso here. Zeepai is so good at landing these kicks. He's going to go for a hex here to keep Chaz on low HP, to give Morrow time to potentially crowd control and to get into range to assist Zeepai with that damage onto Chaz. But instead, it is Method Black that pulls the trigger first here, and they're gonna go with that blinding sleet, leg sweep. Morrow, is Morrow playing normal blink? Oh, Morrow, he's playing blazing barrier. Wait, it's a big push here potentially. Looney in a leg sweep. Morrow could be in a little bit of trouble here. Should be fine for now, though. I think Life Coon is going to come through. So Morrow is playing the old school classic WoW Blink, where you can blink stuns. And he has Blazing Barrier, so when he blinks, he gets a shield as well. This is something that a lot of the mages in NA actually do, and Ben was telling me about it. So I haven't seen it played too much here, so we'll see how it works out for them. Right now, it's not looking good, though.
I mean, they down Cauterize and Ice Block only 3.5 minutes in. I think I'm almost kind of thinking Method Black are disappointed that they didn't try the Frosty Cave Windwalker again, considering it was the comp that won them a game in the first place against the Fire Mage Elemental. Now they're on match point. They're going to have to win 3 in a row after this on Wildcard Gaming's map pick and comp pick. This is going to be a very difficult feat to achieve indeed. They still have to win here. It's not guaranteed just yet. They gripped Zeepai into the spite. I don't think does he really care? Ring of Peace in it. He's in. Well, he trinkets to get out of the spite. He may be overly corrupted, but they're leaving Greater Pyro open. Swapsy could just Death Strike that back, though. He should be all right. Well, Chaz is wind sheared, and I think they're going to get back to Morrow. Morrow blinks on top of Zeepai. A little bit surprising there. Spite lobbed out. Morrow doesn't have a good way to get out of this. This is going to be really annoying for him. And it looks like Zeepai is playing the Traveling Storms to try and get the knockback on Morrow, so he can use Thunderstorm casted on Morrow and knock people off of him. It's not really super effective because Frost Death Knight, Pillar of Frost, they go immune to knockbacks. Waz the Windwalker, he doesn't really care. He's just back on the target immediately. So while I appreciate the thought, I'm not sure it's actually going to matter. It's all about just getting Morrow out of spite as soon as possible, which seems to be pretty difficult. Even with the Tiger's Lust, they paralyze Morrow. There's the spite on the ground. Looney uses Ring of Peace to barrier them away from Morrow, but he's just getting Chains of Ice. He's going to use a blink on that, gripped back in. And with Heartstop Delirium, he doesn't have another blink. He has to just waddle, and then he gets Ring of Peace back into it. His corruption gets overloaded. As Adrian pointed out, he's wearing 35 corruption. Even with only one spite, that doesn't take very long to put him over the 40 threshold, and Things from Beyond are going to start chomping him.
Yeah, well, to be fair, Adrian's mic also was overly corrupted, so well, we'll see what happens here tomorrow. Ooh, big double dress hit. Big damage there. Looney with the save with that life cocoon. And as soon as Swapsy and Waz realize that Maru is not playing, Shimmer, they're just not stunning him. Now, they could do that. Ooh, leg sweep, lightning lasso. Swaps is going to respond with Iceman Fortitude. Just wants to stay ahead, wants to stay aggressive, wants to close out this game. Maru has his Cauterize rotating back up in about 15 seconds. No life cocoon, so there's about a 10-second window here. If Method Black can do the damage they need, they could take Maru down already, but I don't think they're going to be able to find it. That Cauterize should be back up, and then after that, I'm expecting Looney to get his life cocoon back up as well. So, Wildcard Gaming in a checkmate position, but they are able to survive through it. Now, Zeepai is getting gripped in. I think they want to set up a Blinding Sleet double leg sweep. There it is. Blinding Sleet coming out. Let's see what Maru is going to do here. If they don't stun him, he has to blink. Swapsy could grip him back in. No, instead they're just going to walk over to him. Now he can't blink out of a stun. So there it is. Maru in a full stun. No way out here with that normal blink. And instead they're going to trade out the life cocoon there before Looney and Zeepai gets leg sweeped. Beautiful timing here from Looney both times on those life cocoons, keeping his mage alive. And Maru now is looking like he's going to be on track to actually getting his ice block back as well.
Oh, it's so unfortunate for Method Black here. They're trying to get some overly corrupted on tomorrow with the spite. They're keeping it on for a long time. They need another spite here as soon as possible if they want to keep going for the chain, but they're just punching through it. I mean, if they got that double dress, they could drop him. One dress, two dressed. They get the caught, they pop him. Looney's powering through without life cocoon. This is definitely a winnable strategy to put themselves back in the game, getting that Cauterize as soon as it became available. I bet they're almost a little bit upset because they got that cooldown earlier, but the game has gone on for so long. And it seems like Zeepai is not going to be able to solo Chaz. He needs Lucid Dream's Combustion helping him during the Lightning Lasso. And other than that, where's their pressure? Maybe the Death Knight and Dampening? They haven't really cracked any of Waz's cooldowns, and it just seems like Maru is spending his whole game walking. He's playing a walking simulator to get out of spite. He really can't do anything.
Yeah, and honestly, mana is a big win condition right now for Wildcard as well. I think Zeepai is doing a little bit more DPS here. I'm not sure. I think every 1 minute, Method Black has that one big hit, but in between, they do have to run a little bit from these wizards. Double leg sweep comes out. Maru blinks, but his character was facing a wall, so he does leave the stun, does refresh his barrier with that Blazing Soul talent, but he doesn't travel very far. Looney now in a DR leg sweep uses his human ratio to get that life cocoon. I think that was a little bit of a misplay there from Looney. I think he could have greeted it a little bit, but playing it safe. Chaz now taking a little bit of a beating here from Zeepai. Chaz somehow has regen a decent amount of mana. I think maybe he sat down for a drink there or used one of his mana regen triggers. I'm not sure. I think Chaz is just threatening to drink all the time when they have this pressure on tomorrow. So knowing that that's the win condition right now in Wildcard Gaming and trying to take it away before it becomes a problem. Chaz with a heads-up play, but still stuck in a Hex right now. Waz in a Paralyze. Ooh, Looney's going to go for a leg sweep here to shut down the leg sweep of Waz on tomorrow, but a nice Paralyze is going to allow Waz to reconnect and potentially get that leg sweep off anyway. Doesn't want to use it though because Maru does have that blink out of stun, so now he's going to use it. Maru's going to blink. Honestly, shouldn't have even used it.
All right. Healing stat. Have you activated your cloak?
I'm not sure. Yeah, the corruption levels seem a little bit high. So certainly that's what I've heard. So we'll have to see. Hopefully it's better. If not, I do apologize for my computer's troubles, the trouble with working from home. But we do see double stun coming through. Maru immediately breaking out of that. Temporal shield comes through preemptively. This is the stage of the game where we could see sparks start to fly. The spites have been really, really good from what I've seen on Method Black. It seems like that is definitely a win condition they're familiar with and one that they've set up. But the other side of it is just that they're surviving so much better against the Mage Elemental on this composition. You can see the defense of this melee cleave working dividends in Game 4.
All right, here we go. Maru only with Ice Block. They really need to push for it. They haven't been able to find it. But at the same time, I mean, Zeepai is basically soloing damage because Maru is just a training dummy right now for Method Black. He's just getting kicked, spited, has to walk, gets out of it, he's spited again, he gets gripped. I mean, Zeepai literally has to win the game by himself. He might just do it though. Chaz is very low. Zeepai suddenly just blowing him outright. I mean, if Maru is able to get there with Combustion, he pops it. Chaz life cocoons immediately. They drop the anti-magic zone. Chaz going to duck for cover downstairs here. line of sight the rest of the damage. Bit of a close call. Morrow finally getting a moment to shine, but now he's down at half health. Chaz rolls up. He stuns Looney. Morrow going to polymorph Swapsy, try and get control of the fight while his healer can't heal. But he's still getting kind of smacked by Waz. 50% health remaining. Chaz gets lightning lassoed again, and it's going to be a race. Could Zeepai kill Chaz before Waz and Swapsy kill Morrow?
I'm actually not a big fan of that combustion right there. You have to try to get it off in the stun lock. But Chaz is going out of mana, so maybe it was just to try to run him out of mana a little bit quicker. Right now, Mario in a blinding sleet. Looney is in a paralyzed, very DR. Chaz taking so much damage here from Zeepai. He's going to get hexed on low HP. Mario now is going to try to reconnect with that. They're setting up for a lightning lasso, and there it is. Chaz is going to have to use his trinket right there. Looney does have his leg sweep in a couple of seconds. Might go for a DR leg sweep here onto Chaz, but Mario getting destroyed right there, taking so much damage from that double Drestigath combo. No cauterize to be found. Had his ice block there. Benruki, what do you think about
The cooldown.
Wow.
He's not
Okay,
even
well-
here to defend himself, man.
I thought you were asking him a legit, like he was here for some reason. And you were asking him a question. I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna listen to Venry.
No, he's just BM. Zico's flaming
Okay.
everybody.
not,
no,
not
no,
even
Zico's
in,
unleashed
Mike.
not even in our call to defend himself. Jeez, Zico, what a BM. But
I'm sorry.
say that to him, man, not me.
I would say it to his face as well, though, if it makes it if it makes it better.
Call him
And you
right
have
now.
several times.
You know,
And
it's not hard
yes,
to
I
believe.
did yesterday, actually.
All right, well, congratulations, Method Black, taking a game off of Wildcard Gaming. Does it seem like with this comp, maybe they found the answer for Wildcard, or is this not something that they're going to be able to sustain? Can they not sustain that then throughout the rest of the series?
If they blind lock that, Boomkin Ellie is gonna just slap them in the face. They're out of the tournament. They can't blind lock that. And if they can't blind lock it, then I mean, what, blind lock Warrior Mage? I guess that's their best
Oh,
blind
Warrior
lock,
Mage
right?
Mirrors?
It has. Well, no, I think they're gonna lose to Ellie Mage, but
Aw.
I feel like they don't have a good choice here.
No, Wildcard's locked in Tolvaron.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wonder why.
What are you gonna
Yep.
play?
You do
Windwalker
Method Black?
DK? Go ahead. Try it.
I guess we're going to see Mage Lock or Mage
Yeah,
Warrior.
Mage Lock. Yeah, I could see that.
All right,
Mage
well,
Lock has the highest percentage.
what advantages do you think that comp has, Zico, if they decide to go with that?
But it's just that Warlocks are, like, you're going to have less damage in dampening, like less burst that can just win you the game outright when dampening gets really high. But you are going to have more disruption. You're going to be stopping. You're going to be... Ben just poked me. He said that.
I just caught up, I think.
Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like the Warlock is better at establishing that chokehold positioning and then AoEing the team down behind the pillar. But the Mage is kind of like, you get too close, he can just bite you and just make his team win the game with a big combustion. It's a trade-off, but I think it's the best bad matchup.
What do you think about that?
Matchup.
The
The
best
lesser
bad.
of all evils.
Yeah, like if you compare it to Windwalker DK on Tolvaron, I don't think you should do that. Mage Warrior, I don't think you should go for that. Windwalker Ellie, I don't think you should go for it either, you know, so it's the best of the bad things. Maybe Windwalker Lock, but it looked kind of bad.
Well, Wildcard taking their whole timer to lock in their comp, so we'll see what they're playing soon. Not sure. Or, sorry, Method Black. Let's see. They've got Raikou on the Frost Mage, Swapsy on the Warlock. So, Healing Stat, do you think this is their... given what Zico and Sid were saying, it sounded like that was their best option. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, it's sound. I mean, MLM on Tolver is always good. It's always at least okay. So I think Elementals have been the answer into this, so we're probably going to see an Elemental Mage come in here from Wildcard Gaming. But since the pillars are so big, the Elemental might not have a huge advantage here.
I mean, they haven't switched off their comp this whole series. Is there really any sense of them doing it now, Super Tees?
I don't think so. I think just keep playing it. If it really doesn't work, but I feel like it's going to do fine. Frost Mage for Raikou, though, not Fire. Maybe he was worried about a Warrior Mage, too. So he wanted to cover his bases there and be Frost instead. I think Frost is a higher % win into Warrior Mage. So respecting that and then still having some potential. The main difficulty with Frost, though, is that the Ellie Shaman can just run on top of Method Black because he doesn't care about the Frost Mage until probably 70% dampening. So Wildcard Gaming should just play Mage Ellie again.
So is it safe to assume then that Method Black is probably going to try and push Wildcard Gaming into dampening and finish it off that way?
Mage Lock on Tolvaron, that's always the strat. Make this game as long as possible. So how high did we get earlier? 89%?
89. I just want to see him get to 90%.
I want 100%.
Yeah, I feel like that's
I want
our record.
100%.
100?
Yeah.
I don't think 100 can happen.
I think it can.
I mean, technically it can, but
I think it can.
it's just like, that's 0 healing. Like,
Yeah.
if you heal for 1,000,000, it would do 0. If you heal for 10k, it would do 0. I don't see it. We'll never hit 100%
Ye of little
dampening
faith.
AWC.
Yeah, you have little faith here in the last season of BFA. I have faith. I think we can get to 100.
I think we could if we had lands. If we had ABC against C9. We could.
That would be
But
it.
unless it's those two specific teams, I don't see it happening.
C and C9.
Has to be ABC and C9.
ABC 9.
Ha.
Oh, you're clever.
Thanks.
Do you want a point for that one, or are you just gonna?
I don't know.
Well, you're gonna give me
have to
half
put
a
that,
point
we have to
for
put that to the
predicting a first
jury.
lockdown?
Yeah.
No, I'm not good. I'm
What?
not good at this. I don't know why I'm the point giver.
You're the host. Who else is gonna give them out?
I am the host. Okay, I'll give you another half point, so that's a full point.
How many points am I at now?
And then I don't know, 2 maybe.
Do these points have like echo value translation?
You want to
Can we buy
exchange them for
corruptions?
I don't know. If they did, then I would be giving myself all of the points here today. But Wildcard Gaming locking in Fire Mage Ellie, not much of a surprise there. Method Black trying to find an answer here on Mage Lock with Tolvaron. I mean, there's really not much more to say about this matchup. This is a match that we've seen Mage Lock, Method Black on Tolvaron quite a bit of times, but let's talk about the positioning here. Who Wildcard Method Black, sorry, target on Wildcard Gaming is Zico. What are they looking to do to shut them down?
Well, for Method Black, they're gonna be looking to kind of extend the game, go on Maru if he pushes in and tries to get polymorphs, to kind of push him out, go for a little damage onto Zipa if you can get some crowd control. I think later in dampening you can probably kill Zipa, but until then, I would say if you're Method Black, you're just trying to counter pressure, you're trying to force Wildcard Gaming out of your face, and you're trying to establish that wizard positioning in the middle and force Wildcard to be behind the pillar with your Warlock. And for Wildcard, I think what they want to do is wait for dampening essentially, and then maybe get a Lightning Lasso one shot onto a Swapsy with a paralyzed leg sweep potentially, or a paralyzed Song of GG on chest.
All right, well, we'll find out shortly if Method Black could maybe get another win here on Wildcard Gaming. This is the last chance Method Black has to turn it around. Wildcard Gaming only needs one more win to win the Grand Finals, the EU Grand Finals here of Cup number 3. Wildcard Gaming versus Method Black on Tolvaron, 3-1.
Does anyone else have the feeling this is going to go 7 games? I feel like that's the prophecy when it comes to these two teams every single time.
I don't think so. I feel like Wildcard Gaming should take this. I was just gonna ask them, the mages here, if they would be so nice as to refill my water because I ran out. I feel like they'll have time.
I think that costs 1 gold, right?
Is it 1 gold?
Was it 2 gold now? I forget. Last time I asked Zico for a table, it was 5 gold, but I think that was a special friends raid.
What is that? That's like Maz. 5 gold?
Was that in Classic?
A classic for sure.
Yeah, if you want food in Classic, it depends. It's the rate. It depends on how much food and water you want, especially if you want the level 55 water, the good stuff, filtrated, carbonated, lemon flavored stuff. You're gonna have to pay a little bit extra. That's just how it goes. But speaking of pay, we are in potential last game here, match point for Wildcard Gaming, looking to claim all of those points, all of that gold here in the AWC. They're looking to do it right now into chats. Big damage coming out. Where's the Lightning Lasso, ZP? He's not going to be able to find it. Unfortunately, so Chaz is going to escape, but he did have to use his fortifying root.
I feel like the only way Method Black win this game is if Morrow opens a portal to Stormwind and clicks it. I feel like they're trying to play aggressive, though. I guess if they get on top of Looney, there's potential. I like the swaps to Looney. The Mistweavers are going to be vulnerable as they're not running that conflict and strife. Looney gets polymorphed on his cocoon. They're going to switch targets. Zeepai and Morrow are both softened up. Which one is going to be the target? I would imagine it's going to be Morrow. And yeah, Method Black are actually the ones playing aggressively. I thought that was going to be Wildcard Gaming being the ones pushing on top, but it's Method Black.
Yeah, I'm definitely surprised. Like, normally Dark Soul Chaos Sports get shut down religiously at this level of play, but Swaps actually got like 3 or 4 off, and that's how come they almost won the game instantly. So Wildcard Gaming definitely need to sprinkle some water on their faces, wake up a little bit. They still got the work to do here. It would be a shame to throw away 3 solid victories with an easy defeat like that. So Wildcard Gaming, they're one away from winning the European finals. We've got North America coming up after this, ladies and gentlemen. But first we must crown our champions. Wildcard Gaming so close, but Swapsy is getting so many Chaos Bolts off in this game. It's definitely not looking too bad to be a Destruction Warlock in the Wizards of Waverly Place.
I like that. No CC to be found right now in Chaz. I think Morrow is positioning a little bit aggressively right now, looking for some polys, trying to set up, I think, a greater Pyroblast here onto Swapsy, but he gets leg sweep. Big damage here. The Frozen Orb comes out, and Morrow is going to just stay in that Frozen Orb and cast a greater Pyroblast. Really respecting that damage coming out of the Frost Mage right now. Raikou is going to reposition as well. He's actually isolated on that pillar right now. Raikou could be in trouble here if Morrow can secure a polymorph. It could be Raikou's Ice Block. Morrow's looking for it. He's going to try to blink in. He gets it, but the Vitality Conduit says no, thank you. Chaz going to break out of that crowd control as well. Not sure if it was DR'd or if Morrow just broke it so that the Vitality Conduit actually does damage to Chaz. Because if he pre-vitalities and he sits in the poly is just going to basically give him free healing. So maybe Morrow just broke that one. Swapsy now. No pet here for the Spellocks. It could be a potential setup here, but Zeepai gets feared, so he can win here, but it's nice Dragon's Breath. Now Swapsy's going to look to fear again, try to summon that pet. Expecting him to do it right now after that fear cast. No. Not going to be able to get it. Could be in trouble here, Sid.
Lightning Lasso, triple crowd control, Polymorph to follow it up. Earthshock connects. I'm not a fan of this Imp from Swapsy. Maybe flip-flopping between the pets, fine, but he's sitting with this Imp out for quite some time, and he can't interrupt anything. Polymorphs are sneaking in. Greater Pyros are slipping through. They get a poly on Looney. They're chasing down Morrow. They stack up. Nice punish by Chaz. Swapsy moves in around the corner looking for a Shadow Fury. The entirety of Wildcard Gaming dodged that one. Morrow counterspelled for a moment, spamming out Polymorph. Swapsy finally switching back to that Fell Hunter. He'll have access to the Spell Lock to interrupt important casts. About a minute and a half away from dampening here. Looney gonna Life Cocoon Morrow. Icy Veins available for Raikou. Dark Soul available for Swapsy. I'd love to see a switch over to Looney with their next leg sweep in 30 seconds with those cooldowns paired together. I think that might be their only chance is to do an all-in on Looney with all of their cooldowns. Maybe even just Ice Block crowd control, go for it. I mean, the game's probably going to go to the distance where you get that Ice Block back again anyway. Take the risk and try and find the kill here on Tolvaron. They're targeting down Zeepai for now, but Vitality Conduit is on him. He should be stable. Looking for Hex, Poly. They isolate Raikou. They shred off his ice barrier, but he's in a good spot where he can line of sight, and they fear Zeepai during the attempt. Looney is now polymorph. Zeepai's going to respect the Dark Soul and Icy Veins and activate Astral Shift. He still may take a lot of damage through it, so Zeepai's going to Lightning Lasso and interrupt Chaos Bolt. Very important that he shuts Swapsy down in these next couple of seconds. He's not finding any Chaos Bolts just yet. Looking for it, gets line of sighted, and that Dark Soul was dealt with effectively, but Raikou is dishing out quite a bit of damage here on Zeepai with only a leg sweep on Looney. Looney gets fully polymorphed. Fortunately, he did pop Zeepai right before that poly landed, and Swapsy's having a hard time getting back in the line of sight, but finally he's here. And Method Black are just doing all-out aggression, standing on top of Looney, spamming out massive crowd control chains, and they are doing work with this strategy. I like that they're taking risks here and playing as the aggressor.
Yeah, I mean, it's working really nicely for them, and this is kind of old school Method Black, right? Like getting really aggressive, but they need to be careful. Chaz, we've seen this happen already, but he does get the Life Cocoon through. No offensive Ice Block coming through. I think if Gelly was listening to that segment earlier, he probably wouldn't be too happy. He can remember last time in Game 5 when he Ice Blocked, game certainly didn't quite go the distance, but Now we're here, Method Black are the aggressive team, and it's kind of it's been topsy-turvy this tournament. Wildcard Gaming have been all over the place, like getting kills left, right, center. Method Black, they recognize that they are the team that has to be aggressive. They've been getting a lot of chaos spots, doing a good job. Double core has come through. Another chaos spot onto Zeepai. He's in the Fell Fisher. Raikou had to blink away though, so he's not able to get crowd control. He's not able to assist with damage. But again, with that Frost Mage, you would typically expect the game to be a bit slower and damage to be lower. Certainly hasn't been the case. Method Black have been doing an excellent job pressuring Zeepai, trying to expose that Elemental Shaman as a potential weakness.
Yeah, they've been getting a lot of crowd controls on Looney, and I think a lot of it is kind of what Sid was mentioning. It's the positioning playing on top of them the whole game. And there it is. Paralyzed leg sweep. Swapsy in big trouble. Could just go down there. Unending Resolve comes in on 1%, and it is going to be enough time for Chaz to get that life cocoon. But that was a big push here. Wildcard Gaming starting to get that pressure that we saw the last time they played against Mage Warlock. Raikou taking a decent beating here, but he is going to get topped up by Chaz, and now they're looking for crowd control onto Looney. Looney needs to be extremely careful, looking to get that life cocoon off before he gets crowd control. He was trying to pre-cocoon the paralyze of Chaz, but Chaz held on to it, so the threat isn't over just yet. Chaz in a polymorph though, they're looking to reverse the pressure onto Swapsy, but Maru is the one taking a huge beating here. Now Looney, if he gets caught up in any crowd control, that could be big trouble here. Zeepai's going to go for the lightning lasso onto Raikou, and it's not going to be doing too much. They're just trying to slow down Method Black. Looney so far doing a great job as well with his positioning, always staying far away from Chaz, trying to buy time to get that life cocoon so he can use it preemptively, potentially onto Zeepai.
All right, let's see if they can keep it up here. Cauterized Ice Block still available. Swapsy's in trouble. Chaz gets polymorphed. He nether wards, but he's out in midfield. This could be dangerous for Swapsy. He's already at half health. It's match point on Game 7 here in the Grand Finals. Can Wildcard Gaming close it out with this Elemental Fire Mage? The kill is denied with the Vitality Conduit. Zeepai is now on the run, trying to retreat. Frozen Orb pinning him here at the pillar. Looney powering through with that Soothing Mist. Both teams begin to restabilize, and they got the Astral Shift before Dark Soul and before Icy Veins. This is a minute and 8 seconds of opportunity for Method Black to close this game out if they can get crowd control on Looney. But Greater Pyros are flying in from downtown. Maro off to the side. Zeepai, is he going to run and maybe switch pillars? He needs to be careful. Maro tanking a lot of damage. He tempts it. Should bounce him back quite a bit in the near future, but I'm very scared for Zeepai in these next couple of seconds. They got to get ready. In the meantime, Method Black build momentum on Maro. They're mixing it up. They're trying to make it difficult for Looney to anticipate who the target's going to be. Chaz gets intercepted, though. He wanted to go for a paralyzed leg sweep. It's now Chaz who's leg swept, and Chaz could be throwing the game on that. Swapsy's so low, barely gets the life cocoon off in time at the end of that chain. Looney now in a full fear, and Zeepai, he's out in the open. Needs to get back to that pillar as soon as possible. He interrupts Raikou with the counterspell, but Dark Soul Chaos Bolt is potentially next on the menu. Swapsy gets wind sheared. There's going to be no interrupts if Swapsy wants to go for it, but he doesn't really have much defense if he wants to go for it. It's a risky gamble for Method Black.
Yeah, it certainly is. They need to be very, very careful here. This would be, of course, any mistake coming in from Method Black, and the tournament belongs once again to Wildcard Gaming. Maro taking a little bit of damage. There's no life cocoon available right now, so they need to be aggressive. There's the incap. Are they going to have enough damage here? It's a beautiful temporal shield from Maro, bouncing his health way back into the upper echelons, and he's going to be just fine with that. Beautiful plays coming in from the defending Cup champion. Now he's got Sheeps coming in over onto Raikou. Do they get the Greater Pyroblast? Yes, they do. One onto Swapsy. This is the Lightning Lasso as well. Do they have denial for it? It doesn't look like it. Life Cocoon forced out once again. Method Black survive.
Beautiful stuff here. Both teams showing a lot of signs of life. I think Chaz is trying to sneak away for a drink right now at the back of that life cocoon, but Maru is keeping him in combat. I think he just flame striked him, so Chaz not going to be able to find that. Gonna go ahead and put his Crackling Jade Lightning debuff as well up, that Mystic Touch up on Maru. Gonna be taking a little beating here. Chaos Bolt flies in. Chaos Greater Pyroblast as well. Raikou now getting swapped to here. Maru looking for crowd control onto Chaz, but not able to find it. Nice blink counterspell. Raikou could be in a lot of trouble here. Beautiful fears coming out of Swapsy here, shutting down the follow-up crowd control. Would have been an easy poly to land there for Maru. if he could have gotten a Dragon's Breath onto Swapsy, but Swapsy was also very quick with that Fear there, and not really giving Maru too much time to set that up. And now Zeepai looking for a Hex onto Raikou. There's no Hex dispel, so once again, I think they're trying to set up a kill here onto Swapsy. If they can get a Lightning Lasso Greater Pyroblast, ooh, nice Fear there, denies it. But Looney was ready. As soon as they get one Greater Pyroblast off, Looney wants to cross the map, paralyze, leg sweep Chaz, and they want to try to take down Swapsy with that Pyroblast Lasso combo. For now though, since Chaz kind of read that, it's actually going to be Wildcard on the back foot for now. Maru pushing in, getting Counterspell, getting Spell Locked. There's a Frozen Orb, big damage coming in. Raikou with that full Ray of Frost. Looney in a leg sweep. What are you going to do? Maru actually using his Temporal Shield there. I think that was a Battle Master as well, keeping him alive through that assault. But any team that pushes in first and gets stopped runs a massive risk in this matchup.
Was expecting the Ellie Mage to be ahead on mana, but right now they're actually behind. Method Black keep themselves in the tournament here. If they can find an answer on Tolvaron Arena, perhaps they could make the reverse sweep a possibility. Right now, Wildcard Gaming are just trying to compose themselves at the pillar before they make another push. Who's going to be the target? When they won, they killed Swapsy, but they've been focusing Raikou a lot in this particular game, and it seems like Method Black are a lot more threatening now that they're pushing for these crowd control chains rather than just trading damage out in midfield. Swapsy getting a Chaos Bolt onto Zeepai. Looney gonna have to heal through that. It's gonna cost a lot of mana. He's already behind. It looks like Chaz could try and drink. Looney rolls out to stop it. Crackles, imports back. Decent trade here onto Swapsy and Raikou. The instant damage sinking in, but at the same time, Maru's too far from the pillar. They have to Vitality Conduit. Maru blinks out into midfield looking for a Greater Pyro. He's pinned by the Frost Nova, almost finishes the cast. Chaz gets wind sheared, really trying to just do a ton of damage to Raikou in that push, but Raikou pulls way far back. They're not able to chase. They're trying to get back to Looney at the pillar. Maru with excellent Temporal Shield timings here. They opt to use Life Cocoon anyway. That wasn't Icy Veins. It could be an opportunity here. Chaz is pushing forward like he wants to get a paralyzed. Looney's drinking. They have to stop this. Chaz rolls over with that spinning crane kick. Looney not going to get any mana. Maru trying to find Greater Pyros. That's still a threat. Swapsy fears it right at the end. Maru looks for another. Is he going to get the Greater Pyro? He looks for it. Nether Ward from Swapsy. Maru stops his cast. Excellent stop cast from Maru. Not falling for that Nether Ward. Now, is he going to go for another Greater Pyro? Dark Soul's available. Icy Veins is popped. Maru needs to be careful. No Temporal. No Life Cocoon. Raikou's a big threat right now, and Wildcard Gaming recognize that. They're going to retreat.
Yeah, it's been a back and forth one here, but the thing that I am concerned about for Method Black is if they aren't able to get crowd control. This is the thing with Mage Luck. They have so much control over the game. They do need to find those crowd control chains, I think, at the very end. Otherwise, these one-shots coming from Wildcard Gaming can be ever so scary. That's a full stun. That's a lockout on Swapsy. No unending resolve available just yet, but they don't seem to have any crowd control over onto Chaz. The Life Cocoon was burnt through. Double stun comes through. They're looking to finish it. 50% healing reduction. That's a passive sharpened blade coming in here, as Venruki correctly pointed out. We've got a big opportunity for either side to win this one. Wildcard Gaming on match point, looking to be our champions once again here in Europe before we head over to North America. Counterspell on Raikou, though, is going to shut down the pressure, but mana is still dwindling for both sides. Looney's slightly behind, but at this point, it really is anyone's match.
Yeah, it's anybody's game. Swapsy does have his Dark Soul. He's just waiting for Zeepai and Maru to leave that pillar so he can press that button. But Lightning Lasso coming out once again. Wind Shear on the Fear. Swapsy gets a Chaos Bolt off. Not going to be doing too much. Big Earthshock connects as well. And now Vitality Conduit for, on Chaz. Nicely done. Before the polymorph, shouldn't be too much of a problem here to heal through this damage. And there's actually Maru on the back foot taking a lot of damage there. Vitality Conduit comes out now from Looney, but Maru I think is too far away. Could be his Cauterize. He's not careful. He did use his Temporal Shield, but at 56% dampening, that Temporal Shield is not doing much. That Life Cocoon as well is about 4 Ice Lances worth of damage before it breaks through. Raikou almost breaking that one. Instead, he's going to go over to Zeepai and Looney, and now they have that Frost Mage, Destro Warlock, Chokehold, spamming out the Orb, spamming out the Blizzard, pincering Wildcard behind the pillar. Maru not going to be able to recover too easily right now. Looney doing what he can, powering through the heals here, trying to stabilize his team. Maru's going to have Combustion with Lucid Dreams in about 15 seconds. He needs to make something big happen with that. Otherwise, this is looking like a Method Black win.
Yeah, Method Black actually have full control. This looks totally different than the last time these teams went toe-to-toe. It's looking like they're going to keep themselves alive here if they don't throw towards the final seconds. And Chaz is stunned up. Big Lightning Lasso. He could just fall. Seconds away from winning. Wildcard Gaming steal it away. 4-1.
Yep.
Wow, incredibly well done job by Wildcard Gaming. They absolutely shut down Method Black, and now they are our cup